after losing 21 in a row, when instead of taking a map, he took the whole thing. And that makes this eGGz extra feisty and special. In the top right side of Data C, we're looking at the main base of this Colombian Zerg who just took down the Titan in this region. Can he win Group A, representing Super Team? This is X.
And spawning over in the bottom left-hand side, playing as the Blue Zerg, representing the Cranky Ducklings, it is Erik.
From what I know as well is that ZVZ in this region, it's pretty wild, man. There aren't too many games where they just go up to 3 bases, make a couple safety links and safety bailing nests, but nobody commits, and then we just get some well upgraded roaches. Like, no. Most of the time, a lot of crazy stuff happens in the first 5 minutes.
I'm kind of reminiscing about a few Jim Rising games over in this region, and I've seen Cham do it. I mean, Cham for a while, he was like this roach dude that was very solid, but then yeah, everybody else, it was just like that pig phrase about a knife fight in a phone booth. It was just like, yeah, I see it. These guys are absolutely wild. They'll throw everything at you and the kitchen sink kind of thing, and I don't know what to expect from either one of these in this matchup.
So X went for pool before hatch, but I don't think that was a 12 pool, right? It was a little bit later, like a 14 pool or something, and now he's making a couple links, but this feels unusual to me. Maybe he was predicting his opponent to go for a 12 pool, and this would be a hard counter, but if your opponent is not 12 pooling, then this doesn't really do a whole lot for you. So I am curious to see. But after that, what I just saw, Ben, I am not doubting the 9 Viper man, okay?
I mean, you can never doubt eGGz. I mean, this guy, what he just showed today, I mean, he's probably still feeling elated, but it's not over yet, because if he loses this match, he's most likely going to have to do it all over again, which, that's the kind of result that happens 1 in 22 series, Kev.
Or he starts his own 9 series win streak right now against Special.
And we've already talked about crazy things happening, like Happy lost his 4th or 50th tournament in a row, or after winning 49 in a row, he finally lost the 50th. Maybe this is just the month where crazy things happen.
Well, if that's the case, then I can see you winning your little elephant tournament, Ben.
Mate, I hope. And in fact, this little conversation alone has given me a lot of hope, Kev. Thank you, eGGz.
I believe. I will always be in your corner. As long as you play Delhi. That is important.
Mate, don't worry. I'm a Delhi king these days. Like, people fear Benny's elephants.
Okay. So we have link speed halfway down for Erik, our Brazilian Zerg player. Meanwhile, X, after making those links, realizing that they can't get too much done with the links, it just stayed gasless for a little bit. Actually, the gases are up and running now, but this is the very first gas he starts mining, and he's got to drop a Roach Warren. Erik is firing up +1 Carapace. Could be some sort of a Ling Ravager attack. I don't know. With these two, it's so hard to make predictions. Like, it really just comes down to who wants to do what, and it's very, very, very important for both of them to scout as much as possible. Now, once we start working with these wall-ups, scouting in ZVZ can definitely become a bit more tricky, but it is really key here, as I have the feeling that they are both going to be aggressive, and they'll maybe meet somewhere in the middle.
I think you're absolutely right. Like, Erik going for that +1 Carapace, which usually indicates you want to stay high or stay hatchery tech for a little bit of time. The +1 Carapace, the +1 armor on everything helps with these Ling, Roach, Ravager battles. Whereas eGGz, he's the one that's opting for the slightly more normal approach, I suppose. Oh, in fact, he's going for a full wall off here. Does get the cancel on the 3rd base. And Erik, he's probably already very happy with getting this kind of damage done.
Yeah, but he is still building roaches, which gives me the idea that he's not done yet. And that evolution chamber actually finished up. Now, worst case scenario would be that right when X thinks that he's not going to get attacked, he kills his own Evo and he opens the floodgates for Erik. But there are overlords out and about in the map. They're going to get some decent scouting info. X is going to be the one with a much quicker lair, and he casually has a 13 drone advantage, right? And what is Erik going to do about that?
Actually, I have no idea, man. Like, this is already weird. Like, it's super weird. You were totally right. Like, neither one of these guys followed a normal build order. They both went about it their own special way. And eGGz, he's actually kind of getting I don't want to say all in here, even though it's a 2-base Erik that's also going up to lair while doing this, but he's kind of getting all in here, Kev.
Yeah, if he can get that evolution chamber that's researching missile attacks, that would be kind of big. And with this many roaches and ravages, and the lings are nearby, there is a very good chance that Erik is at least going to get a nice cancel on +1 missile. And that really stings for Erik, because that one was like solid 70-80% done. Now the roach warren is going to be the next target, and this is maybe where X is going to draw the line. He's like, enough is enough. Both of them have 2-base lair, Roach Ravager. We see the first fire going down on the side of Erik. Yeah, these are just things I don't see very often. Erik really does not need to attack here. Like, yes, you've got Carapace mate, he kills the Roach Warren, but once you see high ground, that many units and double spine, you gotta kind of disengage, and that is exactly what he does. And he's got that Spire on the way. Nidus Network on the side of X, which I think is a brilliant call. Going for his own Spire would probably be too late. If he gets a Nidus up on the other side of the map, man, a couple of mutas are not going to save you.
Nidus is actually the perfect call here. Like, losing all that tech at the front is annoying for sure, but if he can if he's making a few queens, he needs to keep making queens, because I haven't seen any queens in production for a while. But yeah, just pure Roach or Ravager Ling at his front door. Oh, he finally got that creep to him. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, he was looking for it. I am just following Erik's camera at this point. I know that Nyo is just making sure that we see everything. I am following X's camera, and I can guarantee you, or excuse me, Erik's camera, and Erik has not shown me anything that gives me the idea that he's even thinking about a Nidus at the moment. He's just kind of looking at his army, injecting, expanding. He's moving overlords offensively, but he has not moved anything defensively in a while. He does not have vision of the corner of his main base. He is going to try to get a cancel. But, okay, the first mutas are on the way, but he's still not checking for any Niduses.
I mean, the main base, like, there is an Overlord there that... Oh, okay. Just as I mentioned that, he does throw up the Nidus in the main base. Now, how many queens are on the field for him? He's only got 3, which...
Really, yeah.
I mean, that amount of mutas will be able to deal with that, which is unfortunate.
I feel like he wasted a lot of time, though. This Nidus could have been up for a while. Now we hear the Nidus go up. And obviously, all hell is going to break loose. Erik is like, how serious do I need to take this? Well, very serious, mate. But there is still a fight happening on the other side of the map as a couple of corrosive balls have gone down. Erik loses the majority of his links. He's going to lose a lot of drones. The real question is, how many is he going to lose? Since there are only 2 mineral lines at the moment, it seems that we're going to lose a very hefty amount. He's already down to 28, and there's another Nidus going up near the 3rd base of Erik. Like, Erik will probably be able to survive, but we have to ask ourselves the caster question, at what cost?
I mean, this is insane cost here, and Erik, he's down to 16 drones, but it's not as if Erik is super rich here, but he's finishing his upgrades. Roach speed is done. There's a Nidus in the main, Nidus at the 3rd. I mean, the muta count's definitely scary, so we'll be able to clean this up, but yeah, you're absolutely bang on. Like, what does he do afterwards? Because I feel like, oh, he's going for the spore crawlers as well aggressively. If he gets up a single spore, he's in good shape, and this creep count's starting to escalate as well.
Yeah, a single spore would already be big, and since the mutas are still busy dealing with the roaches on the right side and the Nidus network there, and that hatchery is actually going to fall. I didn't even think it was going to fall at first. Yeah, that means that Erik is going to be a 1-base Zerg with Mutalisk. And then the most problematic thing is that from that high ground, you can probably fire a couple of corrosive balls in the mineral line as well, so it's not even a real 1-base economy. On the other side of the map, Ben, we have a double spore in the main and a queen, 1 spore crawler, double spore in the natural as well. I think Axe has done it, man. He's just riding all the momentum right now.
I mean, this is crazy. Like, this man is having the day of his life right now, isn't he? And he's making it look good as well. He's in the natural, and GG for eGGz. And again, that fist bump comes up. 1 map away. Look at him. He's feeling it.
Yeah, of course he's feeling it. He's probably putting on that Italian rep right now. Like, he's like, I'm loving life. Takedown special in the opening match, a 1-0 lead over Erik in a pretty weird and crazy game, man, because they were both 2 bases. And then Erik obviously had the carapace, made a lot of roaches and links, was stacking up. Axe was stacking up as well. But then they still started fighting away, and it's like, who's actually supposed to be attacking who right now? Because Axe has the better economy, but he's down an upgrade. But Erik is the one going muta, so if Erik would have just focused on defending, he would have obviously been in a really good spot. But I followed his camera for a solid 45 seconds while that Nidus was building, and it was already up. He did not make any movements anywhere around his base that gave me the idea that he was even thinking of a Nidus attack.
Yeah, and that Nidus could have came quite a bit earlier as well, and it could have been more queens right from the get-go, but he was a little bit patient about it. I saw that there was a few little temporary supply blocks and stuff, but yeah, obviously the game started off weird with them both kind of being okay with 2 bases, but doing a 2-base roach tech kind of thing is kind of, it's a blast from the past, but doing the 2-base, I'm going to do the +1 carapace stuff, that was wild from Erik. Took out the wall, took out all the tech at the front, stopped the +1 missiles as well. Erik's probably going to be kicking himself after that one.
It almost felt that Erik hurt himself by getting the initial cancel on the 3rd base, right? Because with this build that he was going for, where he stays on 31 drones, makes carapace, a lot of roaches, a lot of links, it feels that you want your opponent to spread themselves thin across 3 bases where it's harder to defend all 3 locations. But by getting such a quick cancel with the links alone, it almost felt that mission was already accomplished, but he wasn't quite happy yet. So he started making the roaches anyway, and then he wanted to bust a natural. But that's so much harder than finding damage against a 3-base Zerg.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And also, I think one thing that I tend to forget when I'm watching it from like this perspective, when you're in that situation and things go kind of weird straight away, it's very hard to tell what your opponent's actually doing. So it's, you know, it's one of those positions where we see the Nidus going up and it's like, oh, what was we looking for? And it's like, sometimes you don't even think about how good or bad a spot your opponent's in. But we're going to get into Cosmic Sapphire and spawning over in the top left as our red Zerg. It is the man, the myth, the legend, eGGz.
Having the day of his life so far when it comes to the DreamHack Masters Latin America. In the bottom right side, we're looking at the main base of the man who's made quite a few playoff appearances so far, even in the top 3 finish ones. This is our Brazilian Zerg player, Erik.
Tell you, Kev, you know, when you're playing that slow game where you're building elephants and stuff, coming back, it's difficult, man. It's difficult. And by the way, they're both doing what they did in the previous game. Erik does this hatchery cancel, or rather this extractor cancel thing where he gets 15 out of 14, and Eggs is just like, you know what, let's do a 15 pool, mate.
I was like, it's been a long day, Ben, but I didn't see any hatchery cancels, and that's also not a build that I'm very familiar with. But I was like, maybe I'm missing things here.
I mean, I'm also not that familiar with the extractor cancel these days, you know?
No, that's one that you see indeed not all that often, but definitely a lot more than the hatchery cancel.
That's true.
Maybe there is a way we can make it work. Give your opponent the idea that you're actually just going hatch first. You cancel it, was a 12 pool all along. It's possible, man.
Oh dear. It's you know, Latin America. What the cherry on the cake, you know, at the end of it all.
I don't know if we can put the hatchery cancel on Latin America. I think this is all you.
Mate, everything's on me. Let's be real.
All right, so we have a couple of links once more for eGGz running to the other side of the map. Yeah, there's a good chance that he's indeed gonna... Well, he's finding gas a lot quicker this time around. Maybe this was the setup and makes this look like it's nothing in game 1, and then suddenly in game 2, bam, he's gonna show up with 28 links with speed in the near future. I've got no idea.
No idea, Kev. No idea. I mean, Erik's the one that boots up his link speed again, whereas eGGz, okay, he is going to go for that speed here. So, yeah, you know, I've always said this, Kevin. eGGz is a series player, okay? He's just putting his opponent in a world of doubt already. It's how he took down Special, obviously.
He's definitely putting us in a world of doubt, so it's working on us. It's very effective, even to put it in Pokemon terms for Vardy. Make sure that he's still alive. If it's gonna work on Erik too, then I'm not sure. But we'll see. As we have a Roach one going up in the front. So you say that Erik has been active and somewhat successful in Age of Empires. How active are we talking? Is he a grinder, or does he just play a couple tournaments here and there?
No, he was playing in all the tournaments. Like,
Okay.
I definitely said he was around top 32. And in a few of the monthly finals and weekly finals, he did manage to make like top 16 and stuff. So definitely a good player and does take it serious.
Okay, so he's definitely put in a decent amount of hours there. Well, we have Erik building a few roaches here on 2 bases, as his own link speed is close to finishing up. eGGz has made a bunch of links. He's also firing up +1 melee, very big difference. But he has a roach warn. Now, is this a real Roach Warren? Is this a decoy? I have no idea. At this point, he's making a lot of links, and this would normally be fantastic to get like a cancel on the third base, but there is no third base. What there is, though, is Erik rallying a bunch of units to the other side of the map, and also a couple of links running into the natural of Axe here. This can get a bit ugly for Axe, because every drone matters so damn much at this point. He's setting up a Ling attack, but the entire army of Erik is just waiting there. Axe, we cannot do anything here, mate. We gotta save our links. Unfortunately for Axe, he does.
These guys are wild. Like, these guys are quite literally cowboys, and this is the Wild West. Like, 2 base setups and no, like, third hatcheries and not to be seen and stuff.
Yeah.
You had me, like, I knew it was going to be crazy, but you nailed it, Kev. These guys are absolutely crazy.
I'd love to see Lambo do some proper analysis on these CBZs. Like, Lambo's going to be so confused. He will see things that he has never seen before. As +1 melee is halfway done, Erik, despite the fact that he has way less links, will find a run-by for the second time in this game, gets a queen. He's going to find once more 2 drones initially, maybe a few more. And this is all just damage ban. That's really not supposed to happen. Axe has so many links, and the links have not done anything on the other side of the map. This is a bit of a shame, losing 5 drones. The links are even going to make it into the main base to get a scout off and maybe an extra drone. Yep, there is another drone. I mean, Erik has put himself really far ahead, but I'm not making any calls about the outcome of this game, I'll tell you that much.
No, and Eric's going for a Spire, so it does feel like that is, you know, he's cheeky, right? He's a bit sneaky and stuff, and he's actually very sneaky in AoE 4 as well. It's something that resonates true with him, but Spire on the way for X this time as well. Totally different game here that we're seeing, and yeah, I think Lambo for his YouTube absolutely should do some LATAM ZVZ analysis, because that is the kind of stuff that I would absolutely tune in for.
Yeah, I would actually love to see it. The Rainer just walked past here, and he also looked a little confused. I just looked at his face to see if he's been following the games. And well, he left very quickly, and I think that kind of said it all. He's lost, Ben. He is lost. I'm lost. You're lost. And I think both Axe and Erik are lost. But I wonder, will Erik go for like Roach Corruptor here and try to get the kill? Like, Axe should normally always go Mudas, right? Like Link Corruptor. Okay, now he makes his own roaches. Maybe feels that he just needs them, otherwise he won't be able to survive. The thing is, though, this is still 2 ways against 2 ways, and they both have a Spire finishing off. What is happening, Benjamin?
I have no idea, but look at that. Those 2 Banelings, they were more than prepped and ready. That Roach Warren will probably be able to finish that speed before getting cancelled. On the other side of things, yeah, Erik's looking to deal quite a bit of damage here. Does run into X's own set of roaches here. They aren't upgraded and what have you, but the Lings come in from the back. They do meet the Banelings, and Erik's dealing quite a bit of damage here. I'm not sure there's going to be enough for X to hold on. These Banelings are doing a really good job of keeping those Lings out there.
Very good bane control by Erik. We can definitely say that much, and that has really allowed his roaches to find a little more damage than they were supposed to find. Now, in the end, it is still going to turn into Muda versus Muda. There is one more brave little Baneling looking to connect with something. It does not connect with anything. So it's now 2 base against 2 base. Mutalisk against Mutalisk. Ideally, you would normally say having +1 melee is a lot better than having +1 missile attacks in a game like this. But Erik is, of course, the one with the better economy. You look at the income advantage over the last 5 minutes. That line is all blue, and he's still sitting on a bit of a bank as well. So I'd say advantage Erik, but it's not so much about the minerals. It's going to be a little bit more about the gas. Meter count at this point is dead even. I dare to say anybody's game, Benjamin.
You know, I actually thought that attack was going to kill X. Like, I really was thinking that. But right now, the fact that X is still in... Oh, those Banelings! Juicy Banelings. If he kept those Lings alive, I think he could have been looking real damn good, Kev. But what a nice surround on that Queen, man. He's making this defense look pretty damn decent.
Yeah, but this is more economic damage, more lost mining time, and that's not what Axe need. Axe is now down 5 workers. The third hatcheries are pretty much the same. Maybe the +1 links can make a difference here. This is one of these moments where obviously having links on the ground can be very useful in a Muda against Muda fight. This could be big for Axe, man, because the links on the ground can soak up a couple of the bouncing glaives. That is what the Roach is going to do as well. And I think Axe is going to at least get a cancel here. Picks up the drone as well. The Muda fight is awfully close. Axe doesn't need to take this fight. Erik has a lot of minerals in the bank. Axe should go back, right, mate? You got the hatchery kill. Isn't that exactly what you want? Why are we losing extra mutas here? The links are gonna make it in, and don't forget, these are +1 links. These are feisty links. Is X gonna do it? Will X be the champ of Group A and be the first player here in DreamHack Masters Latin America to advance into the playoffs? I think it's starting to look like it then, because +1 links are nothing to scoff at.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe this, Kev. I've started to really hope that it is going to be him just for the sake of it, you know? Like, what he's done today is phenomenal, and the supplies are so damn close between them. Erik, fortunately for him, had quite a mineral bank, so he could actually whip out quite a lot of roaches. He is going for tunneling claws and burrow off 1 base here, or 2 bases, which is wild.
Against mutas as well, yeah. I mean, I mentioned the income advantage that Erik had. Can we show this graph one more time as the links get another cancel? Look at that rocket of red. 1k resource advantage a minute all of a sudden for X, and it really just kind of comes down to the next muta fight. But he's been enjoying, I want to say 5 extractors, but that's not true. It's still only 4 extractors, but he's got the muta advantage at this point. Links are keeping the mutas busy of X in the natural, and it allows the mutas of X to fly into the main base, grab a couple of drones. There is a roach counterattack happening though. Makes you wonder, how is this happening? Why was X not on top of this? And if these roaches find damage in the natural, maybe this game is not quite over yet. This is where we just need to F2 like crazy, as the mutas are fighting other mutas in the center of the map. And now it's suddenly looking promising for Erik again. What on earth is happening in these eGGz?
I love Latin America, and the mutas are back, and there's lings flooding in here as well with just a few roaches. Both of them, 34 drones to 32 apiece. Those mutas fly past all of them. They run into the big flock of mutas themselves. Even though Erik is ahead 20 supply, it doesn't feel it, and I have no freaking idea what's going on anymore.
No, he's probably going to be able to get this hatch. It's awfully close, but I think the roaches will get the right amount of shots off, so we are back to 2 bases versus 2 bases. But I think that was silly to donate his final, I believe it was 5 mutas like that, because these mutas would have been awesome. A, maybe defensively, right, near a spore, defending your queen, or B, show up when the mutas of X were on the other side of the map. There was still a lot of potentials for these mutas, and to rally them into the flock the way he did is a bit shameful. X also needs to saturate his gases. I mean, we can't really fault these guys. Obviously, there is a lot of pressure right now for X. This is probably a spot that he never thought he'd be in at the beginning of the day. He's like, all right, DreamHack Masters Latin America, I am going to go ahead and probably lose the special. Then I'm going to do my best in the lower bracket match, and hopefully I play again tomorrow. Suddenly, he's here. He needs to fix these gases, ban in the natural. This is painful to look at.
It's a brutal one. It's a brutal one. I mean, silver lining, he'll mine it out slower, I suppose. But actually, he's got 20 mutas. In his head, does he realistically need more gas right now for the more mutas? I mean, obviously, this is just me kind of not nitpicking, but doing the opposite. But yeah, he just needs to stabilize a bit, right? Which, so far, he's doing.
12 minutes in, 22 drones against 30 drones. 2 base against 2 base, and Erik is now sneaking out them infestors, so we could potentially get a couple of very big fungals. Since X is still making mutas though, I am inclined to say that yes, he does need more gas, and he is now mining more gas again. Still making so many units, by the way. Like, I know the 3rd hatch is not done yet, but it really wouldn't hurt to crank out a couple of drones so you can immediately saturate that base by the time that it's done. Like, Erik is... How's Erik gonna get the infestors to the other side of the map? Are we gonna burrow everything? Are we just gonna fungal our way to the other side of the map? What is happening, Benji?
It feels like everything has come to a halt this game. Oh, he's getting the infestors though. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
He gets 3 out of 6. Yeah, that's definitely big. I mean, Erik has gas for days. He makes 5 more. What's 3 infestors to a Zerg like Erik?
This is great. By the way, when you've got this amount of muta, I'm really surprised that he hasn't started any air upgrades whatsoever. Because like that would help a lot. Even kind of doubling down and going for the ground upgrades at this point as well, or switching into his own roaches might be a smart move. But okay, as I say that, he does start up that plus air, but he has to be careful because infestors and the queens, they could deal damage.
+1 flyer is indeed now on the way as he gets a cancel and a kill on that drone. Left a lot of mutas at home at first. Look at the reinforcements arriving. Is he gonna dive on double spore and fungals? That's risky. It's oh, I don't know about that. Like, go into the main right now, right? Like, yeah, there's a couple spore crawlers there too, but all the queens are out of position. And this many mutalisks. I know spore crawlers are great against mutas, but against this many mutas, a few spores are not going to save you. A queen will fall. The second spore crawler goes down. Spore number 3 will fall. And now we just need to make sure that we don't lose everything to a couple of fungals as the first one does connect. I almost feel like he's trying to bait out the fungus. He's going to turn around. He gets on top of the infestus. Erik was not looking, and he's going to lose the majority of his infestus for the second time. And that kind of has to be it, right? Because I don't think there is enough DPS to deal with these mutas. I think it's Colombia or Vamos all the way. I think X is winning Group A, man.
I think so too, Kevin. It's something that I never thought I would say. I mean, those roaches are dealing a lot of damage. What is going on? This is ridiculous from both of them, what's happening in this game. These roaches do try and get away, but there's so many lings. This is off a... he's on 26 drones right now.
Sneaking out a few more mutas, though. But, I mean, there's barely any anti-air left. We're looking at 4 queens, 0 infestus, 4 spore crawlers. That's, like, I think right now we could right-click everything. Right now, the muta count is high enough to right-click everything. If we wait a little bit longer, then infestus come out again, and yeah, it will become a bit more dicey. Just when you think he has it.
That's quite a lot of lings. Oh, nice wraparound, but nice burrow to get out of there. And oh, that fungal was juicy on those lings. This could be really bad, actually, for Eggs, I feel. This is maybe the one position he doesn't want to be in. Oh, my God.
No. Those fungals connected with everything, and we lost 30 or 40 army supply there. X. And there is one muta from Erik on the other side of the map, arresting a couple of drones, and it's going to get the kill. X is reinforcing with more lings. He says, whatever I do, I'm going to make damn sure that you can never go up to 3 bases. He's going to right-click that hatchery. Can it be a kill? No, it's a cancel. It gets one of the spore crawlers this time around as well. Okay, this is actually one of the most silly games that I've seen in a long time. Erik and his one burrowed roach has been able to keep X busy for a while. There are 7 kills on that burrowed roach that is now running for the hills.
Kevin, I don't know what to say anymore, man. I really don't. Like, this is... We're 16 minutes in. They're both on 26 drones. And we've... You know, like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Erik,
you know what's beautiful as well? You know what's beautiful is that 16 minutes into Legacy of Divide, the main bases still have resources too. That's when you know a bunch of silly things happen in this game. Because normally these things are dried up at like minute 11 or minute 12, and there's just nothing you can get out of them anymore. Right now, there are still resources there. Erik is truly trying to take the 3rd base like a turtle. And I think X's idea is like, as long as you're on 2 bases and I'm on 3, I am going to win. That's kind of true, but we have 29 drones on 3 bases. So it's not that simple. He's going to try to get another cancel. We'll get another volley up, gets the cancel, and once that once the drone doesn't get the drone, that's unfortunate for X.
All right, there is one thing that's coming in here that I'm very happy about from Eggs, and it's the fact that he's getting into roaches now, because I do feel that if he just becomes a little bit more stocky, because if he's banking on Muta and Ling to finish this game, if Erik is turtling up and gets those fungals that he was getting, obviously it's going to be very difficult, but at least the roaches allow him some solidity to deal with the tunneling claws and just to fight the army a little bit better.
A couple of burrowed roaches in the bottom left side taking a very big detour. Trying to maybe make their way into the natural. There's so many spore crawlers right now. It definitely does feel that the opportunity to end this game with mutas is gone. Infestus are pretty good in roach battles too, though, right? Like, you can land fungals on those big and clunky roaches. As Axe is like, you have too many infestus, mate. I'm going to take out one of these extractors. There is a fungal that lands on an overseer. Even getting an overseer kill with these ultra ghetto economies that we're working with, it's pretty good.
It certainly is. Ravagers. Like, making sure that your opponent has to move and dodge the biles is definitely something. We have 14 roaches on the field, 8 infestors and 6 queens for Erik, along with this 26 drone eco, 28 drone. He's making a few extra here. This is just a ridiculous game in every shape, way, and form. X is just okay with his drone count here. He's not going higher, but he is finishing 1-1 on the roaches and the roach speed.
Gonna start working on that devastation pit in the main base. One Spore Crawl actually in range right now. And I think maybe the Mutas are gonna try to pull a lot of units out of position. Nice fungal here by Erik, and he could start chain fungling the majority of the Mutas. But at the same time, the main army is more important. Observer, let's go ahead, get there. As the Queens were a bit far forward, all the Queens with all this energy band, they get surrounded. The Roaches are forced to use tunneling clauses. One of the OBs here goes down, but I think X just wants his base one more time. He's gonna get a couple of Spore Crawlers. He gets 10 drones already. He gets the majority of the drones, but here comes the army of Erik. Erik's army, I think it's actually better, man. With all these fungals, the army is better. But X should probably just try to gun down the hedge. He should try to go for the rocks, go for the hedge, not for the rocks.
I mean, okay, these fungals definitely have a lot of work to do, but you're right, there are fungals there available, but these big chunky boys, they're just weathering it. They're all green, but they're still going ham, and I think the damage has been done, Kev. Like, look at Erik's supply here, and Eggs, he's still fighting, man. It doesn't matter what you throw at him, he's still going.
Apparently, he can produce a lot of Roaches of 34 drones and a 2.5 base, 1 base economy, what it really is. The fungals have been big, but they are not big enough. It was a bit harder than it should have been. But X gets the job done after a 20-minute game on Cosmic